So, round one of chemo officially in the books. Fight has begun, and it was an experience. It has been way longer than I thought it was going to take to do like a how did chemo go video. Um, because there's definitely like I was prepared to a point on what chemo was going to do and what to expect, but then actually going through it, um, it's just different. So let's start off by let me tell you like chemo. Like what did I even go through? What did I do? What is chemo? So there's like two types of chemo therapy that they normally just go to. That's the go-to. It's what most people I think are getting when you think of chemotherapy. It's one of two, and they're both equally as effective. It's just one of them has a specific medication while the other one does not. Right? So, like, one of them is called, the abbreviation is like Folfox, and I think that's the one that has the uh, one medication that the other one doesn't, and I don't remember. It's like foul something is the other chemo treatment that doesn't have uh, that extra medication in it, and I'm doing the one that has that is missing that medication because that medication that they give you, one of the side effects is muscle fatigue and degeneration. As someone with myasthenias, I don't need any more help to deteriorate my muscles. You know what I mean? So we went ahead and decided that we're going to do the other one. It's not that the first one that has all the medications that includes the muscle degenerating one is out of the picture. Like if 4 months down the road when we do a baseline check it turns out maybe what I'm on right now is not doing exactly what we want it to be, or it could be doing just a little bit more if it had just a little bit more help, then we might actually switch to that one. And I'm okay with that if, as long as we exhausted everything else first. So I'm totally okay with that, and we'll just work around the side effect if it does happen. It's not a guarantee. Everybody's body is different, and they respond to treatments different, just like they respond to being ill different. Hence, I had no idea that I even had cancer. That there was something wrong with me until I guess there was something wrong with me. Yeah, so like I said, the chemotherapy, it's not just it's a number of medications that they put together, and that becomes your chemo treatment. It's also radiation, because I am technically radioactive afterwards or during it while I'm on the chemo. Everybody is. And a couple things that I definitely will do is, like, of course, attack the cancer, but it's also attacking everything else in my body. So I am more susceptible to becoming, like, ill. And if I do become ill, I am way, way underprepared to, like, battle it. So it would take, like, if I was one of those people who can get just like a common cold and normally it'll go away in a couple days, it'll probably take way longer than that because my body, the good cells that are needed to fight said cold is basically killed off by the chemo. But it's necessary, obviously, to try and fight off the cancer. So yeah, so that's technically that's what chemo I'm on. And going through treatment, day one of treatment, what I learned is that you're given a series of medications in different intervals. You're not just sitting there getting chemo for, mine was 5-6 hours when I'm in the lab. you're it's like they come at you with like prep medications. So like I was given a steroid, I was given something for nausea that could happen during the chemo, obviously, and something else. I don't remember what it was. Oh, it's to try and alleviate one of the side effects, which is either uh, diarrhea and constipation. Um, so they give you that, and they give you that in a series. Like two of them were like in a syringe, so they just injected me with it. Oh, and by the way, like you need an IV for all this. I happen to have a port. I had a port installed. I don't know if you can see the protruding. You can see the scar here, and then yeah, there's a thing right here. I know that's gross. My friend hated when I did that. um, it's a little device that they can just basically hook me up to, and just do the IV through there. And also goes up and through. I don't know if you can see the scar at that point. It goes here and it goes up into my neck and it ends like right here, but it's in my veins. It's what it is. It's kind of crazy. So they go in and they hook me up to this, and then they with the syringe gave me two of them. I think one of them was a steroid, the other one was the diarrhea medicine, and the nausea one was hanging like it would an IV, and they were also getting an IV running through you the whole time, basically as well. But you do that, like that nausea thing, it's running for like half an hour to an hour. Then they came at me again after that and started me on one of the medications, and that was an hour and a half. And once that's done, then they initiate the other medication. And that was for like another hour and a half. And then they did that again with the other medication, hour and a half sitting there. So it's not like you're sitting there just getting a cocktail directly into you. It's systematic. So it kind of, like, to me, it makes it go by kind of fast. It's not too daunting versus just sitting there and nothing happening. It just getting pumped because you have somebody coming back and forth, and they, if you're awake, me and my mom is the one that took me and sat with me. I guess it was out of anticipation of it happening. We didn't really get enough sleep at all. I didn't really sleep at all the night before. Neither did she. So we both kind of napped during a good portion of it, but I was woken up just because of the people coming back and forth to change the medication out, or to make sure that my IV, the saline, was going through the way it's supposed to. Yeah, so that part was like really easy. And then after that, well, okay, let me tell you this. That was day one. Technically, the treatment that I'm on is 3 days. So day one, that's where I sit there 5-6 hours and just get pumped with the chemo. Then at the end of that, once I got all my medications, I'm still hooked up, but I get like a little bag, and I get a little bag of chemo and a monitor that I take home, and it's constantly pumping me with chemo for 46 hours. And then, so that's like one full day of chemo, which I call day 2. And day 3, I'm being pumped full that chemo until my appointment, whenever it starts beeping. And then they essentially blast me with a little bit more of the chemo that they did, how they did on day 1, and then they flush out the port to make sure it's all clean and all that, and unhook me, and then I'm free for a week. And then the week after that, I do it again. So day 2, once I got home on day 1, was it when I got home? No, it wasn't even when I got home. It was like, let's talk symptoms. So day 1, after it was like my mom, she asked me like, how did I feel when we were getting ready to go? And I stood up, and I didn't even know how to answer that, because it was like, I didn't feel bad, but I didn't feel great either. I just felt off. And that's the only way I can describe it. It's just, you just feel off. Like nothing is wrong, you don't think, but something is not right, if that makes any sense. I think if you've been in that situation, you know what I mean. You know, it's like nothing's wrong, but something is not right. That's basically, that's what it was. And that was the main symptom at that point, was just like, I don't quite feel me. I don't feel right in that moment, but I was fine. But then I wasn't fine. So on the car ride home was probably the first time that I felt like this. It started in my core. It's just like my body went like completely, almost that when you're super duper duper tired and like your body just can't anymore, you know, and your muscles and all that just kind of goes lax. That's how it felt like in the core of my stomach. And it kind of just swoosh, just like in a wave, came up over me. And it was just fatigue. I was just suddenly so tired. And if I would have blinked just too long at that point, I would have went right to sleep. And it just felt weird. It wasn't, it was clearly fatigue. I wasn't dizzy at that point. I was clearly just, wow, I need to lay down. I am tired, super tired. And that was probably the main symptom that I was dealing with at that time. By the time I got home, I was still just feeling off. I still had that fatigue feeling. It hit me again. So I just basically went in my room and laid down, and figured that was going to be me for the rest of the night until I ate dinner. Dinner time comes around, and also the reason why I'm also eating candy. I'm sucking on some candy while I'm doing this video. I'm eating, and as I'm eating, out of nowhere, it's just suddenly there's absolutely not a drop of saliva in my mouth at all. It is so dry. And I'm trying to eat, and I can't swallow because there's nothing that, you know, I don't have any saliva to help, you know, it's just not processing, so it's getting stuck. So I'm basically like almost choking myself out on my dinner and just struggling through it. And I'm trying to drink water to like try and wet my mouth, and it's not really working. I drink some juice, some really sweet juice, and that started to get things going again. So that is a symptom, dry mouth. I didn't realize how severe that is and exactly what that felt like until I was in the moment. And it makes it to where, like I said, it makes it really hard to eat, because you can't swallow. And chewing's a pain. It's just, things are not working like that. And you can't really talk because your tongue is just like, it's stuck at the roof of your mouth and it doesn't want to move. And it's just like you're concentrating on that, and it's just crazy. After that, comes a little bit of brain fog. So it's like, if you're in here, you come in here and you see me kind of choking, and you ask me what's wrong, I'm not going to be able to answer you, because I'm just like, I hear you, but I can't answer you because I'm not comprehending anything at that moment either. It was gnarly. And that actually lasted until, to that point, the degree anyway, until maybe like 3 days ago is when that finally stopped being as severe. I could be in the middle of talking and it would just get that dry and I just couldn't do it anymore. It was wild. Another symptom that I definitely had that was probably the worst next to the fatigue, because I consider the fatigue to be the worst of it, um, was I did get the constipation. And again, I haven't put that video out, but I am also now an ostomy person. So I can't fix constipation the way a normal person would. So I just had to sit here and endure. So my stomach was just hurting so bad. And it's like it's hurting to the point where I'm nauseous a little bit, or I have a headache. It was just, and that lasted for days. It didn't stop until I would say Saturday. So I'm already off the pump at that point. Day 3 had come and gone, which was a Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, I was like kind of miserable. And then Saturday, things started to ease up a little bit. And it was wild. But on top of that, I was still feeling the fatigue. And this was, again, after being off the pump. I was still very much feeling that fatigue feeling. I haven't in the past 2 days. I do get tired, but that's because I'm not sleeping that much at night for whatever reason, but what can I do? But that overwhelming, like I have to sit down, fatigue, possible dizziness, yeah, that lasted until like, I would say Sunday, Monday. It was just wild. And that was kind of the gist of it. Like you sit there, so I take the pump home. Day 2, I was just in bed the whole time. I didn't like lay in the bed. I sat up and kind of just cradled my pouch that had the pump in it because I didn't want to mess up. Like I said, I'm hooked up. I might do a short to show it the next time, but how I was hooked up to this port, I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't want to accidentally like rip it out of my chest because that would be like wild. I was just scared. So I slept sitting up for 2 nights. And kind of the night that I got it taken off too, just because it felt, it just felt right. Like I couldn't really lay on that side still. It sucks too because I'm a side sleeper. So I have an ostomy on one side. And so I can't sleep on that side anymore because then I'm laying on it. And then I have the port and the pump on this side. So I can't sleep on that side because I have, I got a needle and all that crap in my chest. It was all bad. Just wild. But hey, not complaining. Didn't complain the whole time because that's not going to fix anything. And just endured, took note, made a game plan for next time because round 2 comes on Monday. And we're just going to go from there. Keep fighting. Like I said, round 1 is in the books. I had a doctor's appointment since then, both yesterday and today, both regarding how chemo went and possible, we'll say, not trials, but just something that we could add to our the chemo regimen that we're doing right now that could be a possibility in the future, the near future, which one of them is like getting a pump that is installed kind of like the port, but except directly to my liver, and it will continuously be pumping me full of chemo for however long, but I would still be going through regular chemo also. So I'll be getting like double dose. But that's not until later. We got to see how things are going now because we just want to, I just want to do everything right the first time around. I don't want to like jump around, experiment too much, because it is a lot. It is a lot. Like if you saw my calendar, because I ended up having to write everything down. I am at the doctor, some doctor's appointment or virtual appointment 2-3 times a week, every week, for the foreseeable future. That doesn't stop until mid-December, and that's just because that's when the calendar stopped. So yeah, I just wanted to update you on how round one went, because I didn't get a chance to do that. Like I said, I've been out of commission for just longer than I thought I was. I started to feel like myself probably yesterday was the first time I started really feeling like myself, like I had, that nothing was wrong, outside the norm. And just like pre-cancer diagnosis me, that's what I mean. Like that's how I felt, like me. I'm going to be going to the movies in 2 days for the first time. Since all this started, I haven't really, I've gone to a restaurant once, and I was kind of freaking out the whole time, because of my ostomy bag. So this would be my first outing with a lot of people. Say we're going to the movies. Since all this started, so I'm happy that I'm actually feeling okay. And like I said, this is also just the first round of chemo. It could be different stuff the next time. It could be the same. It's just, I just got to keep track and then move forward and, work around it from there. Yeah, so hopefully, I'll get you another video soon. That one actually being on the ostomy. We will see. Until then, I will see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out.